What is up? This is Raktar, and this is my first episode of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and I'm gonna be running the temples out of order. So, you may wonder, why am I an adult? And why am I at the Temple of Time if I'm doing a Legend of Zelda playthrough? Well, the answer is, I've already done the child playthrough, and that can be found on my channel, youtube.com/Raktar. But what we are going to be doing is doing all the temples out of order as an adult, which obviously the reason I started here is because there's no reason to start as a child, because you can't do those temples out of order. And I even talk about that a little bit in my in my child playthrough. So here we are, we're at Market Town. We just went through all the scene with like Raru, we just met Sheik, and basically what we're going to be doing is a few important things that must be done to do the temples out of order. So while I'm running over to Kakariko Village, I'm going to explain a few important things that are like absolutely quintessential to doing temples out of order. Firstly, you are going to have to go into the forest temple at some point to get the bow and arrow, aka the fairy bow. The reason for that is there's some targets in the water temple that you absolutely cannot hit without a bow, because it won't let you use your hook shot. I don't even think you can get to the hook shot without the bow. Or I mean to the long shot without the bow. So basically, to get things going, the first thing we gotta do is go to the graveyard, because that is where we're going to meet the ghost of a familiar face from my childhood Let's Play, Dampé. So we're gonna head over to the graveyard right now, and we're about to do some more grave robbing. We're about to steal from more dead people. And as you remember as a child, we robbed this grave. But we don't want to rob that grave anymore. We want to now rob this grave. Because of course that grave was where we got our sweet Hylian shield, which now as an adult we can finally hold like a normal person, and we're not going to get hit by this guy. So let's dive on in and see where we end up. And of course we end up in Question McMarkington, the land of question marks. Are you fast? Look, it's the ghost of Dampé. He's no longer stopping us from opening up graves like a jerk. So he wants us to follow if we dare. And this is actually a required part of the game, because ooh, I already hit a flame. I'm already failing like a miserable loser. But anyway, you have to do this because without doing this, you cannot get the hook shot, which is what allows us to get into many important places. So, oh yeah, and then you have to make it through these doors in a reasonable amount of time, because if you do not, oh, and Navi wants to talk to me, but I'm gonna, oh no. Navi wants to talk to me, but I don't care. And even if you get behind him like this, you can actually still catch up if you follow the path of flames that he left for you. Yep, there we go. And this is counting down to where we would have failed if that door had shut on us, but we're not going to let it. So I'm going to assume that what Navi was going to say was, why don't you go talk to Saria, because in the scene with Sheik tells us that we need to go see an old friend in the forest. And we're all like, I don't care. I'm making up my own storyline, so I guess what I can do while I run is say the new storyline that I'm going to make up right now. So we totally don't care that Saria is in the Forest Temple. What we care about is, we want to see our old friend Darunia. Like, we want to see how he's doing. So, instead of, is it Darunia or is it Darmani? Oh no, Darmani is in Majora's Mask. So we want to go see our old friend Darunia, so we're just going to ignore Sheik's instructions, because we're like, dude, this land is already destroyed anyway. So we might as well just do whatever we want and go see Princess Zelda. Ooh, we can come back again. So we don't even care. I said Princess Zelda, I meant Darunia. So we're just gonna ignore What's-Her-Face's instructions, and we're gonna do that. But right now we're going to open this chest. What's inside? He already said what's inside. I'm a fool. Spring-loaded chain that can cast out to hook things. Drag distant items. Oh, so we can get heart pieces and stuff now. Because as an adult, you'll notice that some of your items are disabled. And the old item that we used to use to get stuff like heart pieces, the boomerang, is now disabled. Now, I've got a little bit of a problem with the boomerang being disabled. And my problem with the boomerang being disabled is that, I'm pretty sure that adults can use boomerangs, and we can use the good people of Australia as evidence of that. So, you know, I'd like to say there's a few Australians probably that would take offense to that, the fact that adults can't use the boomerang in this game. But anyway, that's not what's important right now. As you can see, there's a heart piece over there. I'm actually not 100% sure that I can actually grab heart pieces with the hook shot. I wasn't thinking about that. Let's see. I think maybe it would be too easy. Yeah, it's too easy, but what else is easy is just linking onto the ground over there. And we got another piece of heart, completing our first heart container that we've gotten in the playthrough without having beaten a boss in a dungeon. So while we're here, we can speed things up and we can learn from this gentleman the fate of why he's so darn angry. I'll never forget what happened on that day 7 years ago. It's all that Ocarina Kid's fault. So he's talking about me. Haha. So let's take out our instrument, because apparently it has something to do with our ocarina. Ooh, he is interested in that. What the heck? That reminds me of that time 7 years ago. Back then a mean kid came here and played a strange song. Well, hopefully we can... Oh, look at that. Like an idiot, he teaches us the song that messed up his windmill. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna play it for him to remind him of how angry he was. And of course that it's gonna speed up the windmill. Look how we get like the comforting music, and that guy's just pissed. And Link doesn't look at his ocarina in surprise anymore about learning songs. Yep. So this starts to speed up now, because outside the weather is frightful. I guess it's about Christmas time, so I can say that. But anyway, we're gonna need that when we finally do go back to being a kid, but that's a very long ways from now. So there's a real way of getting a heart piece that's in that house right there, but this is kind of an oversight of Nintendo. As an adult, you're tall enough to do this. So, I'm sorry, Nintendo. I just broke some of your game mechanics. I'm sure that Miyamoto is watching me right now. And he is just screaming at the screen right now. He's like, "No, you're supposed to go into the windmill!" But he's saying it in Japanese, so I can't understand his screaming, which is why I did that. Because if I could have understood his screaming, I wouldn't have done that. So anyway, that was important thing number 1 for making this work. And I think that using film magic, I'm going to cut to important thing number 2 by going out here. But Raktar, Lon Lon Ranch isn't connected to Kakariko Village, you're saying? And I'm saying, film magic. Hollywood has brought us here. But you already knew the way here anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, like I was saying, there's other important parts to doing the temples out of order, and one of them is getting the horse. We have to get Epona. And luckily, as a child, we went in here and learned the song, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get Epona. Oh, and apparently he has to tell us his side story. We don't care about this guy's backstory, we just want our damn horse. So... he's got to tell us... Oh, the Great Ganon... Uh-oh. If you'll remember, the Great Ganondorf followed us into the Door of Time as a child. So apparently this guy's in cahoots with our enemy, which means we have to steal his horses. So he wants us to pay him 10 rupees for a ride. So let's do it. Do you want to hear how to ride? I guess if you've never played this game, you might want to know. Approach the horse quietly and whoa, I just skipped through it because I don't care. All you gotta do is hit A to go faster, your carrots will come back. Alright, so what we've got to do here is use Epona song, because otherwise Epona doesn't like us still, and she will run away when we get to her. And now, hopefully, Epona will do our bidding, and come hither. Come hither, Epona. Letteth me ride upon thine back. Stupid other horse. I don't care about you. That other horse is just jealous. Jealous of Epona. Because Epona gets to get ridden by the hero of time. Alright, so we're gonna lock on to Ingo and see what he has to say. Ooh, he thinks we're getting better even though we just got on the horse. What an idiot. Anyway, he wants to race us. Ooh, and he wants to make a wager. So we've got 50 rupees, so let's make a wager. So what you want to do is get ahead of Ingo on this first corner, and then really just block him out. Like, don't even worry about anything but just keeping him blocked out. Like, don't use your carrots too much because you want to save him for the very end. And yep. And then yeah, as long as you keep him blocked out, he's not going to be able to pass you. And then right here at the end, just blow through your carrots, and you will beat him quite easily. So we just won 50 rupees, no big deal, we're ballers. We've got an adult wallet, so you know, we can do that. Uh-oh. He doesn't want Ganondorf... How would Ganondorf find out that he lost this? Nobody's watching. Ganondorf's not gonna come talk to me, we're like arch nemesis. Oh, but... Now we're getting a better prize than 50... Actually, I don't have 50 rupees, screw the horse, alright. So... Immediately, in this race, I'm going to blow my carrots, and then I'm just gonna block him off. Cause you got to win this race. So yeah, he's pretty easy to block off. And that way, don't want to lose my focus. Alright, cool. And of course now we'll get Epona. Oh, but I used all my carrots like a fool, but luckily, it don't matter. So whatever will Ingo do now? Let's find out. What's up with that horse? Is that Epona? So we tamed the wild horse right under his nose. That's crazy, like we did it in like 5 seconds, and he apparently has been spending the last 7 years trying to do so, like an idiot. So we get the horse. And he seems pretty calm about it too at this point. Oh shoot. Looks like he's gonna change his mind. So, we're stuck. But, you know, that fence doesn't look very high. And my horse is the shizniz. It's the bee's knees, as it were. So we're gonna just jump it. And in an old western-esque scene, we jump over the fence like a bounce. So, I'm gonna end this video right here, and I will see you next time.